What's up, everybody? Peter Ariz here alongside Chase Romero with Group Chat Sports, and we are breaking down our picks for Euro 2024. We've done the group analysis, group by group. Chase, if you guys have not checked those videos out, go ahead. We do a deep dive into pretty much every team in Euro 2024, except Albania. We didn't really go into a deep dive with them.
They hate us.
They hate us. And watch, they'll end up advancing. That's how this stuff goes, right? But Chase, this is the fun stuff, right? This is the gambling stuff. These are the gambling picks, which we do for Premier League every weekend, as we did just kind of start our page off. We had a really good start there. We had a very nice weekend with Champions League. But again, this is the fun stuff. Even if you aren't a soccer fan, you don't follow the ins and outs of it. Seems like everyone gets up for these international tournaments. Everyone likes to have a little skin in the game, right? So we're going to go through some major picks here, right? And we'll start with the Golden Boot, and we will be using Hard Rock Bet as kind of our basis. There's going to be some of these that you can't find on Hard Rock. They just don't offer it. But all in all, we're going to start here with Golden Boot, which is top goal scorer, obviously. And you have a few picks here. I'll let you start with yours, and then I'll give mine, with reasoning as well. But your first one, your boy Ronnie, plus 1,200 here.
Yeah. I'm just excited that we're gone to the betting part.
Yeah.
Now we're ready. This is my favorite part. These tournaments are the best, and I love these future picks. So let's start with Ronaldo. Obviously, I've said it before, like, this is my favorite player. I don't like to bet with bias, though. Like, this is a bet that I'm putting in for a reason. And the reason is I think Portugal is the best team. I think they're going to get the farthest. They'll get to the final, maybe win. Most likely, that's what I'm going to bet. But Ronaldo right now, he's just on fire. He's in form. He's been playing in Saudi Arabia week in, week out. He's got an easy group. That group to me is probably the easiest group besides Belgium's group. And I just like the number, like 12-1 for one of the best goal scorers of all time, the international goal record holder. I don't see how these numbers make sense. You got Harry Kane at 5.5-1. You have Mbappe at 4.5-1, which I think they're a threat. I do think they're a threat to Ronaldo winning. Also, I think Lukaku is a threat to Ronaldo winning the Golden Boot. But I have a feeling, it's just what it is, but I think Portugal is going to destroy these teams. So if he could score, 4 goals in the group stages alone, which I could see it happening very likely, then anything else in the knockouts is just gravy on top. And you get 5-6 goals, it's almost a lock that you're going to win the Golden Boot.
Then your next pick here, got to scroll down a bit. Plus 6,000, Gianluca Scamacca, of course, expected to be up top for Italy. We don't even know if they're going to get out of the group there, as they have a pretty tough group they have to deal with themselves. But Scamacca is going to really be their man up top.
Yeah. And this is more like how I do my lotto picks. I'm not going to bet a lot of money on it, but I will sprinkle some here just in case. I feel like there's always 1 or 2 guys every Euro that kind of pops up out of nowhere. The guy's scoring a couple goals that you didn't think was going to score. And him for Italy, he hasn't done it that in the past, right? But he's coming in. I feel like everything that I've seen from interviews with him and everything, he's a lot more confident. He's coming in. He's ready to lead the line for Italy. It's a very, very, very high pressure position for any Italian to be up front, because the Italian media, the Italian country, they all want results, I think he's ready though mentally. And this past season for Atalanta, he was on fire. And he helped. I mean, they won the Europa League, so mostly in part to his goals. I mean, obviously Lookman in the final, but I just think at 60-1, it's worth a sprinkle. It's worth a long shot bet. And if he loses, well, he lose a little bit. But if he hits, then it's a great hit.
Speaking of long shot bets, your last selection here for Golden Boot. Adda, who we were just talking about in our other video, in Turkey's group, plus 15,000. I mean, you see a $10 wager pays out $1,500. So.
Yeah. So again, another lotto, and this guy, I just feel like it's coming. The breakout's coming, and he's going to start. I feel like he's starting. He's nailed to start. He's going to get the minutes, and if he gets the minutes, that group isn't the best group. Again, it's a weaker group, and you got to target the weaker groups so you can get the goals. He's not known as their primary goal scorer, and again, I'm trying to see the future here. That's why it's 150 to 1. I'm trying to project to see like who's going to surprise, and it's hard to guess it. But for me, just he's going to be one of the best players in the world soon. And eventually he's going to have his coming out moment. And I think this could be the tournament that he comes out and he shows the world like, okay, I'm going to be a star soon. So again, it's a long shot, but don't put all your money on it. But to sprinkle a little bit on a 150 to 1 and hit it, that would be something.
All right, getting into a couple picks here for me in terms of the Golden Boot. I'm going to go Harry Kane plus 550. Second favorite after Mbappe to be the leading scorer. I think England's going deep in this thing. He had an amazing season for Bayern. Obviously, they didn't win the league, but he held up his end of the bargain. So I think he's at the point of his career where like he doesn't have that much else to prove except obviously winning a big tournament. So he's going to come in here motivated. So that would be my like non-long shot pick, right? I think the other guy that I'm very interested in here is Alvaro Morata, who's going to be the man as center forward for Spain. This is not going to be your typical tiki-taka, controlling the game Spain that we've seen. There obviously the midfield's not as deep, not as strong, but I think they're going to be whipping in a lot of crosses there with Yamal and Nico Williams. And I think Morata could be on the end of a few of those. So I think, plus 2,500 here.
Yeah, I love that.
$10 pays out $260. So, I mean, he's behind Jude Bellingham, who is, more of a midfielder, right? So obviously Jude's incredible, but Morata as the starting center forward on, to me, a top 4 to 5 team in this tournament, I think those are very nice odds there, plus 2,500.
Yeah, I like that one actually a lot. And Spain's scoring like crazy lately, and you saw like we're talking about Georgia. They beat Georgia 7-1. Georgia's in this tournament, so they could put up numbers on anybody.
So a pick, Chase, that is not available here on Hard Rock, but is something that interests you, was top Serie A goal scorer, Scamacca. I think you found it at plus 1,000. And as you noted, really his biggest competition here would be Lukaku, unless, of course, Maradona goes crazy for Georgia.
It could happen.
But plus 1,000 on Italy, which, again, we don't know what Italy's going to come out here. Spalletti, the man in charge. But Scamacca, that's not a bad shout, plus 1,000.
Yeah, and this is another one where I'm not going to bet too much, but I'm going to put a nice little wager on it just because I feel like the odds don't make sense. He really just has to beat Lukaku, and Lukaku, of course, is a great player, and he's in a weak group. But Lukaku's known to be hot and cold too, like he could get hurt too or anything. And sometimes he just is off and he misses a bunch of goals in front of the goal. And if he starts missing goals, are they going to start putting in Openda, So I just think Scamacca just has to beat one person. And I mean, he could beat him with 2-1, 3-2. I don't see the odds making sense. Of course, Lukaku is well established and he's on a good Belgium team in a weak group. So that makes sense, but anything can happen in soccer. And this one, to me, after looking through a bunch of these ones, I just thought this one just stood out to me.
So next picks up here, player of the tournament. So it's an interesting one because it's not always the top goal scorer, right? It's many times someone else. Donnarumma won it last time out for Italy, so the man in goal, obviously. But you have a couple picks here, both of them midfielders, and both of them pretty fat odds here. You have Bruno Fernandes plus 2,800, and then Tony Cruz plus 1,600.
Yeah, Bruno. Again, I'm putting a lot on Portugal this tournament. I feel like they have the best team, and he is their best midfielder. He's the creator, and in qualifiers he put up insane numbers, scoring and assisting. You know, this guy's a big chance creator. He's a machine. And if Portugal are whooping teams, you know, like he's going to be talked about a lot. And I feel like obviously Ronaldo's there, and they'll talk about him too, but I don't think Ronaldo, even if he wins a Golden Boot, they're going to give him player of the tournament. He never wins player of the tournament. I just feel like it'd be like a midfielder. And this guy is just, to me, I could see it already happening. Portugal beating everybody in their group big time. He has 4 assists, 5 assists. Everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's been playing so well for Man United this year. All the British media starts hyping him up, and then everybody else starts hyping him up, and he will win player of the tournament if they get to the finals or semifinal. You know, I can see it happening. That's my vision with it.
Right. So my pick, Chase, and it's kind of a bit of a hedge, right? Because the player of the tournament, to me, obviously it's going to go to someone who goes deep, but most of the time it's going to go to the best player on the team that wins it all, right? And I don't have Germany winning the whole thing, but just in case they do, as the host nation, Florian Wirtz at plus 2,500, obviously coming off of his incredible year for Leverkusen. Looks like he's going to stay there another year with Xabi Alonso, and they're going to try to make a nice run in the Champions League. But this is a German side that obviously Kai Havertz is going to be playing up top, most likely. Füllkrug could be also in the mix there. But I don't think Wirtz is going to be their top scorer, but he's going to be their main creator. Him and Musiala together, I think, are going to be functioning together. It's going to be a beautiful partnership between them two. But Wirtz, I think everything's going to flow through him. He's going to be, again, their prime creator. He might score a couple, but I think he could easily have 3 or 4 assists here along the way as well. So that is my pick for player of the tournament. Again, I don't have Germany winning it, but I think if they do go a long way here, which we expect them to be in at the very least semifinals, I think he's my pick. Again, plus 2,500, pretty crazy odds there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And Germany, they're playing at home, so almost every single tournament except 2, the home team has made it to the semifinals. So they're gonna probably go far, and they could pull it off. They could. They have the team,
Yeah.
There's better teams, but again, football's about those little moments that, PK here or a missed coverage on a cross. Anybody could win it once you get to the Final Four.
Next up, we have most assists. Bruno, you're betting big on Bruno here, plus 1,400 most assists. And then you have Nico Williams plus 4,000. So talk me through these.
Yeah, and going off what I said before about Bruno, I think he's just a big chance creator. The most big chances created in the Premier League this year. The guy, if you watch him play, he's literally creating these amazing chances almost every 10, 20 minutes, and I think that's going to be huge for assists. And he has Ronaldo in amazing form right now up front, and he has Leao on the left, and he has Bernardo Silva, and he has Neto off the bench. He has a bunch of weapons that he could feed it into, and they're going to finish. So, and again, easy group. So I think for him for assist it's what, 14 plus 1,400. Yep. Yeah. I just think I have to bet that. And then Nico, it's going along the lines with Morata that you were talking about. Spain has been scoring like crazy. They're offensively, they've been really good. They only have, I think, 2 losses in the last 22 games. They are playing really well. They're coming this tournament with confidence. And Nico Williams is coming in with confidence. He is one of the star boys of La Liga this year. And again, he's on the left. He's going to cross it in. Morata might be right there. Easy tap in. I feel like they're going to get goals, and he's going to be involved. So at 40-1, it's worth a sprinkle, definitely.
So my two, I have Griezmann at plus 1,600.
That's a great one.
I mean, I think at this stage of his career, we understand that he's not going to be flying all across the field and making things happen. But I think he can kind of sit in a primary position up there and feed balls into all the speed that they have around him. So I really like Griezmann at plus 1,600 there. And then my other pick, which is, again, somewhat of it's not a complete long shot, but I think this one may surprise some people. Alejandro Grimaldo, 25-1 for Spain. I was disgusted when I was seeing stuff a couple weeks ago, Chase saying that he may not start for Spain. Obviously, we still don't know for sure, but with the season that he had, I don't think there's any way he doesn't start for them. There was some rumblings of Cucurella getting the start there, but I think he's going to play in an advanced position where he really gets up into that midfield and is able to serve some of these balls in. Very excited about this Spain team. I'm not sure they have the depth that we've seen before, but the quality's there.
Yeah, they're, again, we like Spain, we like Portugal. We think they're going to score goals. So I like these bets. Next
one up here, and this is one that's near and dear to my heart, as I'm a big fan of the Star Boys and the Wonder Kids out there. This is young player of the tournament. The last two winners, Renato Sanchez for Portugal in 2016. It's crazy to see how his career has devolved,
Bayern
so to
ruined
speak.
Him.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been pretty. And then Pedri back in 2020 for Spain, who expect him to be in that midfield with Rodri for sure. But your two picks here, Xavi Simons plus 900. I have a pick involving him later today, and then Arda Güler plus 2,000. Listen, Turkey better make some noise. If not, we're in trouble, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell my house. No, but really, again, Xavi Simons, he's plays for the Netherlands. He's a attacking midfielder, and the Netherlands, if they're gonna score, I feel like he's gonna be involved, and he is such a dynamic playmaker. I mean, this year for where was he again? This year?
Who, Xavi?
Yeah.
He was with
PSV?
Yeah,
no.
PSV. Oh no, that was last year. Excuse me. He was with Leipzig this year.
Leipzig, that's right. My bad, guys.
Sorry, I was pulling up something else here. My attention was.
My bad. Honestly, I always forget Leipzig, like the name. They played really well. I mean, they almost had Real Madrid on the ropes in the first round of the knockouts, and he's a key part of that offense. And I feel like he's gonna do the same thing for the Netherlands. He has Frimpong next to him. I don't really love their forwards, and this is kind of why, like, I feel like if they do anything, he's gonna stand out, and he's gonna be involved in it, and he's going to either get assists or goals, and he scored some wonder goals this year. I think at 9-1, I'm not going to bet it heavy. So I'm not going to bet either of these guys heavy because it's just too many variables. But I'll put a bet on it. Nothing. I'll put like 25 maybe. 50, depends how I'm feeling, but I like him. I think he's a great player. He already has some hype behind him, which helps. This is almost like a lot of times it's a popularity contest. Who's being said the most in the media. You could play really well and not show up like in the voting because no one's voting for you because they don't know your name. People already know this guy's name, and this guy was considered a star boy or like a young revelation when he was younger. And now he's starting to grow into that role. And I feel like if he does good in this tournament, it's a good chance that he wins this. And then obviously, you could go.
No, go ahead.
Go, no, finish it.
Well, listen, I'm not going to overthink it with mine. So you finish your thought, and then I'm gonna tell you mine.
I was gonna go to Arda, but you could go, and then I'll go to Arda.
Well, listen.
And we already talked about it a little bit.
The thing is, you took the words out of my mouth when you said it's a popularity contest. Jude Bellingham at 3-1 here. I mean, look,
See that
England has to
that
make a
guy I
run.
would probably bet heavy,
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
would bet
still,
heavier than like a Xavi. I'm
he,
looking for like kind of like almost like a little lotto. I mean, it makes sense though with Jude, 100%.
and then my other guy would be Lamine Yamal, who has the second best odds here, with tied with Verts at plus 700, 7-1. So I'm not really going for the long shots, so to speak. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was gonna go with more of a long shot, it would be probably Warren Zaire-Emery at plus 2,000, who had an incredible season for PSG. I think my only question is he going to end up starting
Yeah,
there?
I don't think he's gonna play that much.
So
That was one thing that I looked into too. You know, like Xavi's gonna start. You know,
Agreed.
and so is Arda. You know, and but I love the Jude. I mean, the thing is, I just don't know how to feel about. One day I like England, one day I don't. You know, like it's weird, and their back line is worrying me. Is Jude? I mean, Jude does get the press, though. You're right.
Right.
He does. But like, I feel like the streets sometimes they're just like, oh, he didn't do anything. You know. I guess if England go far and do really well, then
he'll be the de facto.
exactly it'll be easy for him to win it.
Because it's almost like he doesn't need to like score goals for people to give him the praise.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And he talks so well with the media too, you know, and everybody wants to interview him. Everyone wants to talk to him. He's very mature. He doesn't sound like he's 20. Like, dude, this guy's 20 years old. Like, he's taking over the whole entire football world. I like that. I might bet that one, and I might bet it heavy because I think you're right. And it is about, like I said, it was about the media. Who do they know? So my other guy was Arda Güler. Obviously, we talked about him already. I just feel like a breakout's coming. When is it going to come? I think it might come in this tournament. So I think at 20-1, if he puts up some crazy numbers, he could pass Jude, or the people are going to talk about him at least. You know, it's going to be hard though. It's in a popularity contest, but his name's already out there, and he plays for Real Madrid. So that's like another factor that we're trying to get in here. You know.
So let's go to the big one, and we have a few more picks after this to throw in, but the big one. Tournament winner, Chase, and I'm going to pull up here the odds on Hard Rock. It's interesting. The odds when you had originally made this pick for Portugal, who was one of your picks, was plus 800. It's now plus 600 on Hard Rock. So there's been a big movement there already.
Yeah. I
the normies are waking up.
I think they are. I think Portugal was like 5th or 6th favorite when I was first betting on them. I think the way Ronaldo played the other night, I feel like it kind of changed the odds a little bit because people could see like this guy's in form, you know.
They weren't watching his form all year for Al Nassr.
I know people hate on Saudi league, but you know it's the 3rd best league in the world.
So you have them. It's plus 600 now, and they have the 4th best odds. And then you're also, you know, taking the home team here, who is at plus 525.
I'll tell you now, like I'm fading England. I don't think it's not the same team from the 2020 Euro. They're missing a bunch of key players from that run that they had, and their defense looks weak. As much as people hate on Harry Maguire for England, I feel like he just always shows up and he plays, and he knows he plays a different brand of football than he does with the club, and he always shows up, and he's a great player for them, and he's out this tournament. So now you have a new cornerback pairing, new center back pairing, and which is fine. And I feel like in the group stages, but are you going to get to the knockouts and then that not be exposed? And I feel like Germany can expose them. Portugal can expose them. France can expose them. I like France. I think France is a great team. I think they're a little more overrated this time around. I don't think they're as good as that World Cup team or the Euro before. I feel like they are good, but they have some young players in the midfield that have to step up. And we don't know if they're going to step up. Like at this point, if Tchouaméni is injured, they have like Rabiot, which I don't like Rabiot. He played for the last one.
I don't like him either. Yeah.
And Giroud, I mean, yeah, he's good, but he's getting up there. And I
don't even listen. He's probably going to start. He's been starting, but I don't know if he can go a full 90 minutes. He had a solid season this year, but it's different. It's an international stage now. So
yeah, and he's like getting up there in age. I mean,
listen, he's making his move to to LAFC. So that really tells you all you need to know, right?
Yeah, and I always say like past performance does not guarantee future results. Like
Right.
I'm not looking at the past and saying, okay, they're gonna win this one. That's how the bookies, for the most part, kind of I feel like make their odds in a way. Not all the time, but like for like a team like England or France. A lot of people obviously think they're the favorites, but I feel like there is some holes there, and I feel like Germany or Portugal can expose them. So that's where I'm like, I feel like they almost all should be in the same odds range, and they're not. So I'm going to take the two teams that I'm getting better odds on, and I really think Portugal is going to be my biggest bet.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. To be kind of boring, that's my main pick, right? And then I also agree with you on fading England, an incredible collection of talent, but until I see them really do it on this stage, obviously they had the opportunity last time around, couldn't get it done. I'm not going to pick them. Southgate being a big reason for that.
I also feel like he's feeling the pressure, you know, like
he might be 1 foot out the door. I know Ten Hag has his job safe for now, but there are a lot of rumblings about Southgate and Man U. So who knows? My other pick would be France, though, at plus 375. I think that Mbappe now has a little bit of that pressure off of his shoulders after all of the drama at PSG. He's obviously very excited about this move to Madrid, and most talented side. I think them, obviously you're pretty much splitting hairs between these top four teams. I think maybe Germany like a drop below them overall in talent, between England, France, and Portugal. But we've seen this France team do it at this stage before. So I'm going with them here to as my pick outside of Portugal.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to fade them, but I'm doing it.
So let's get into a few other picks here that I know you're very excited about. One of them being a pick that we just spoke about, which, as I'll pull it up here, if you guys are on Hard Rock Bet in Florida or wherever else Hard Rock Bet is offered, on the team futures section of Euro 2024. We are going to scroll down here and find Germany,
I think,
to reach the semis.
Yeah.
And trying to find it here for you. Germany to reach the semifinal. You got it at plus 110.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Okay.
Plus 110.
Yeah. So it's still plus 110. Again, I mean, I don't think they have the best team ever. And they have been playing kind of, they've also been only playing friendlies because they didn't have to qualify for the Euro. So we don't really know how they're playing. When we play a friendly, it's not a real game. We don't really know how they're going to come out. And when you put on that German shirt in Germany on the home soil, it's a different. This is one of the national teams with the most pride, with a lot of wins. They've won World Cups. This is a big deal to them, and I think reaching the semis, there is a lot of weaker teams out there, and I just, the home field advantage for me, and the stats say it, there's only been 2 teams that have not made the semifinal when they host the Euro. So I just think there won't be one of those teams, and at plus 110, I like that. I like that number.
Next one here, you have Portugal to reach the quarterfinal, and that is minus 175.
Yeah, and minus 175, I think that's great odds. I mean, if they win their group and France win their group and England win their group, their road to the semis is pretty much a cakewalk. So even if you bet them to reach semis as well, I wouldn't be mad at you. I just think one of my biggest bets of the whole entire tournament is going to be them to reach the quarters. To me, it's almost a lock. Yeah, and we've already talked about them, And
then you have them also as the Group F winner.
Yeah.
Which that one is minus 225 right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to bet that pretty heavy too. I think they win this group pretty easily. And by match day 3, they'll be resting their guys. This is going to be easy for them. I just have a lot of faith in them right now.
Then you have a special one here that's first time winner, no, minus 220. I don't know if you found this one here on the Hard
Yeah,
Rock.
I was actually I had it on DraftKings, but again, this is pretty much fading England. They're the only team that I could see that could win it. Maybe I think the Netherlands won as well. But it's mostly a fade against England, you know.
and Netherlands, exactly.
Yeah. The Netherlands is the other one that could potentially win it. I don't think Croatia is going to win it. That's another one that hasn't won it. I don't see them making it to the final and winning. So you're pretty much essentially betting against England, which I don't think is going to have a great tournament. Or they might have a great tournament, but every England fan is like, it's coming home every year. You know, they act like they're the favorites every year, but they haven't won one ever, and it's going to be tough for them to get past the semifinals, I think. So it's just a bet against England, pretty much.
I'm going to throw one of my specials in here real quick, and then I'll let you keep going. But looking at, and this is available, I'll pull it up here on Hard Rock in just a second, but it is Group A straight forecast 1 and 2 finish. So they need to finish in this order. There's also the option to bet this, just the 2 teams advancing. But I think in this particular situation here, as I pull up my pick, I have Germany and Hungary. So Germany has to finish first. Hungary has to finish second in the group, which, again, I don't think anyone's expecting Germany not to finish first in that group. So it really comes down. And then Scotland, I think, finishes last in the group. So it really comes down to Switzerland and Hungary. But I'm a big believer in Hungary. Had awesome form throughout qualifiers and really the last couple of years, you know, in any games that they played. Of course, struggled the other day for the first time in a few years there. But these odds at plus 325 are, to me, just really too fat to pass up.
Yeah, that's a great bet. We already said it. We said our predictions, and we think this is going to finish 1-2. So to get at plus 325, I love that.
And then to concede the most goals, I don't know if you have a pick there.
Yeah, I had a pick, but I changed it. Okay. So I don't know. It's deleted there. I'm going to go with Georgia, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's plus 600. What do you have it there?
No, is it on Hard Rock?
Yeah, it's on Hard Rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
So as I pull this up here,
we'll talk about it. I just think Georgia's in a tough group. Their defense isn't great. You saw that they've lost to already Spain 7-1. That was just a team that I don't even think I think it's top 5. You know, I don't think is the top right. tier team. And I don't think Georgia just has the capabilities to keep up with some of these teams, and they're going to get outscored. And all it takes is one team to score 6-0 on you, 5-0, and that's it. You concede the most goals.
Agreed. I mean, listen, there's a handful of teams. I can't find it here on Hard Rock. Okay. But the other special that you have that's a very interesting one is, and this one is definitely on Hard Rock, winner and top goal scorer, basically as a parlay here. Yeah. So that one has a tab all of its own, as you see. And you have a very interesting one here.
I'm going to go with Ronaldo and Portugal to win it. So it's going to be plus 6,000. 6,000, sorry. 60-1 odds. Again, this is my team. I'm riding with them this year. And I've never bet on Portugal to win any tournament. I've never bet on Ronaldo to be a top goal scorer because I've never really been confident in these Portuguese teams before. But this team to me is just special. So for 60-1 odds, if Portugal win, you already know Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be the top goal scorer on the team. So, and if they win, he's going to have 8 games, it's 8 games to score and be the golden boot of the whole tournament. I think that's a good odds for you. And if they win, it's got to be Ronaldo being golden boot, I think. So 60-1,
unless Roberto Martinez decides to bench him for Gonzalo Ramos, which
I don't think it's happening. I
saw what happened last time they tried to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I've read and I've seen interviews with Roberto Martinez, and he's pretty much saying that Ronaldo's a lock to be on the team. He says Ronaldo's a leader. He's showing he's the first one there, last one out every day, and he's in great form. So they're going to keep him in. So I don't think Ronaldo's going to get benched. Maybe the third game, if they already got 6 points from the first 2 games, they'll rest him, or maybe he plays only 45 minutes. But he's also the kind of guy that's thirsty to score or thirsty to win awards. This is something he wants to do too. He wants a team to win, but he also wants himself to be, to be his best every time he's out there. So I think it's gonna be hard to keep him off the field.
So we just went through a bunch of picks here. A lot of these you have to wait to cash because they aren't instant gratification. It's, longer term stuff, but luckily that's only a week or two in some of these cases, right? So what we'll be doing is we're going to be doing a whole nother video here, Chase, where we break down all the games from this weekend and we give you individual picks for these games. So if you're looking for those throughout the entire Euros, we'll also be doing this during Copa America as well. But remember to check our page, Group Chat Sports, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to have this content coming at you all summer long here. Welcome to the group chat.